you can only watch it for the first time once. It'll be interesting to see what we catch and what we don't.
Did you ever play the video game Mass Effect?
This is where Babylon 5 is becoming Babylon 5.
That was great. I love that.
100% completely accurate, definitive ranking of Babylon 5.
I love it so much.
We're officially into it, Jeff.
The year is 2025. The name of the podcast, Babylon 5, for the second time.
Welcome to Babylon 5 for the second time. My name is Brent Allen.
And I'm Jeff Akin. Brent and I used to be Star Trek podcasters, but then we watched Babylon 5 for the first time and everything changed. So now we're watching this incredible series for the second time, looking for all those things there was no possible way we could have picked up the first time around.
And we are still searching for those sci-fi messages, because that's what we do. You know what I mean? We're going to be asking what this episode was trying to tell us. Is it giving us hope that things can be better in the future? Is it holding up a mirror to society? Is it showing us how we can be better human beings to one another? Anything like that. Those are the stuff we're looking for. Maybe we get something new this time around, Jeff. I don't necessarily remember what the messages were from last time around. All of that being said, though, fair warning to everybody out there who's listening to my voice right now. From this point forward, spoilers shall abound. We are allowed. There is no governor on this show whatsoever. We are allowed to talk from anything, from any episode, from any season, from any series, spinoff or otherwise, extra source material, novels, comic books, conventions, anything. We're allowed to talk about it all right now. And we have our delightful Council Chambers group who is here with us live, who will be dropping comments. They'll be letting us know some stuff if we missed it as well. All of it's fair game. All of it's on the table. So you have been warned. If this is your first time through this series, we beg you to stop right now. Join us for our first watch. That's in the feed. You guys can go check that out. And when you're done with that watch, join us here for the second watch. And trust us, this is a show you want to do it that way.
Absolutely. And Brent, we're going to watch this week the episode, The Quality of Mercy, the penultimate episode of the first season.
Is it The Quality of Mercy or A Quality of Mercy?
It is The Quality of Mercy. TQM.
Are you sure?
Total Quality Management.
Are you sure?
Oh, I am sure. There's a for the first time version of this podcast where you watch this episode, The Quality of Mercy. What do you remember were your thoughts? Like, what did you think about this when you watched it the first time?
This was an episode that felt like it really could have been placed at any point of the season. It did not have to be in this penultimate position. And honestly, I remember this episode feeling weird given where we are in this season. Like we've had the two-parter Voice in the Wilderness where we got a new battery for the machine down there. We've just had Babylon Squared, which was just this, we've got the season finale coming up next week. This has to be a big episode, right? Now, we would later learn and kind of catch this pattern of how the end of the seasons roll on Babylon 5. But this episode just felt really out of place. That's what I remember thinking about this episode. Outside of that, I thought it was a fine episode. Of course, this machine, it comes back later and sort of plays a secondary role. It didn't come back and do something like super spectacularly great that saved the day, and it didn't have to. It was fine. But, you know, it was really something that was brought into play kind of after the dust had settled, if that makes sense. You know, in speaking with what it did with Garibaldi and then Ivanova, like it was neat to see it come back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Did we absolutely have to have this particular chapter to have that pay off later? No, not necessarily. But it's a fine episode. Listen, you got 22 episodes, you got to fill them up with something, right? And this is a good entry. Like of the episodes, this will be, I would imagine, among the better of them. But the overall weighted significance, I remember just it was good. It was fine. Just weirdly out of place. How about you, Jeff? What's your first response to this episode?
Well, I think this was very much a floor on the tower of Jeff hates Dr. Franklin. This just really built on that. I hated everything about how he showed up in this episode. But I also remember loving Londo and Lanier, like the two of them, and you know, like Londo taking him under his wing and being like, "We're gonna go do some messed up stuff." This is the one. This is the one.
Listen, folks. We hold a PG-13 rating here at Babylon 5 for the second time, and Today's episode might contain some content sensitive to younger viewers. Viewer discretion is advised.
But all in all, I think I felt similarly. I think this was an okay episode, is how I remember thinking about it, and just hated Franklin, loved Londo and Lanier.
Yeah. Like it's not a bad episode. Like I could watch this episode. It's a laundry episode.
Right.
It's what I call a laundry episode. If you're new here, a laundry episode is you're doing laundry, you have it on in the background while you're doing laundry, and it's there, and you're fine. You're not going to change the channel. You're just watching the episode while you're folding clothes and halfway paying attention. Now, Jeff, that's what we remembered on our first watch, right?
Mm-hmm.
I actually went back and listened to our original episode, though, and that may be what you remember saying, but I know what you actually said.
Okay.
Following this episode, would you care to find out?
Yeah, I'd love to.
You liked it, especially, and I'm probably going to the Mueller stuff.
Okay.
Is that the convict?
I think so. Yeah.
It's happening. Mueller, was that his name? That's really, you didn't really mention all the Londo and Lanier stuff. You talked about him.
All right.
That was the part on your original response that you really liked.
Interesting.
I really dug into it just felt wildly out of order, but also most of season 1 could have been watched in really any order. So sort of kept with that theme, which, by the way, also I'll just note is what JMS was also saying about season 1.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and also,
it's fine.
Yeah, and that's, as Nia says in the council chambers chat, depending on how you choose to watch it, this doesn't have to be the penultimate episode.
Right. I made a full declaration in this episode, Jeff.
Wow, okay.
I do not like Franklin.
Right.
I made this a full declaration, and you and I both went really, really hard on Franklin. Like, here's the thing. You and I watch Franklin now through the sleeping in light eyes. He's playing tennis with Garibaldi's daughter. He's Uncle Steve, like we love this guy. And I'm like, how dare you hate him? He's a little cringe, but he's cool though. We like him. I was kind of mad at us. We spent a lot of time bashing on him, and we had a long conversation about it. JMS had some stuff to say about this episode, as I understand it, Jeff. Mm-hmm. You went and found what he had to say.
I did.
Why don't you fill us in on some of the things that JMS had to say?
Well, I buckled in because of a thing you shared before we came on mic. You should buckle up now because Brent, JMS had a lot to say about this episode. So we knew going into this that...
I'm sorry. Ben over in council chambers says, hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your husband, because Dr. Stephen Franklin's out there.
He's not wrong. He is not wrong. But Brent, we knew that this was an episode that JMS wrote when he was very sick and has no memory of writing it.
I feel like he did that with a handful of episodes. Is that true?
Well, so there was Voice in the Wilderness that was impacted from being this illness that he had, but this one he just has no memory of whatsoever.
But didn't this also happen in like season 5 or something like that as well?
Gray 17 is missing. Maybe there was something about that. Also, to have like 2 weeks out of 110 where you're a little off, that's okay.
And he had to recover from some major stuff in the middle of things. Like, I don't know, the lead of your show leaving, or I don't know, getting canceled, wrapping up your entire show and then getting uncanceled. So you got to reboot the whole dang thing. And then somebody throws away your notes in the hotel trash bin.
Yeah. It's a little bit to come back from that. But what he said cracked me up. He's like, this is the only script that he has ever written that he's not 100% thrilled with. In fact, he's only 90% thrilled with it. And that's mostly because of the Londo and Lanier stuff.
Okay, fair enough.
That's what JMS had to say about this one. Brent, I am curious what you're going to have to say about this one. What do you say we watch it?
Let's do it.
If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. Hello. We're excited to have you here. What's about to happen is we're going to watch the episode, not pause the video and step away and watch it on our big, nice TVs with sound systems and stuff. No.
Who wants to watch a show like that?
For real. No, we're going to do it the way it was meant to be watched on a small, tiny little box on our screen, just like JMS intended. This is exactly the way it was supposed to be watched. But we're going to do that right now. If you're watching us on YouTube, you're going to see that edited and cut up for the YouTube stuff. If you want to see the full and unedited version of this incredible conversation we've already been having, you can see that over at patreon.com/Babylon5 First. That's the number 5 and the word first.
And if you're listening to us on the audio podcasting app, you're going to hear that reaction. And then we're going to meet you on the other side where we're going to share our thoughts and talk about new messages we've uncovered. So with that, Jeff, let's get to it.
Let's make it so.
Accessing file.
And so you understand our concern, Malani, as well as preventing.
Is it Jokey McJokerson?
Gaining the upper hand.
We get him in this episode. Okay, sorry. In this episode, you know what's amazing the way they set this up? Look over Londo's shoulder.
Oh my God, how brilliant is that? There's the idol right there with the 6.
Because we know what's getting ready to happen.
Oh man, brilliant.
We must continue to forge good relations with possible allies.
That poor
Yes,
guy.
I understand, but it's not an easy process. I will see what I can do.
Thank you.
The assistant to an ambassador should know everything he can about the other species here on Babylon 5, yes?
Yes, I've been doing quite a bit of reading since my arrival.
Reading?
Yes.
Reading is no
He's all
substitute
proud of
for
himself.
experience.
Yeah.
Tell you what, it is an imposition on my busy schedule. I will take you under my wing and fill the gaps in your education.
He's so
Starting
generous.
Tomorrow morning, and for the next 2 days, I will show you the Babylon 5 that I know.
He's basically, until your mom gets
You will
home,
find that the revelation of
we're
the
gonna-
highest order.
we're going to do some stuff.
I don't know,
Right.
Ambassador.
Oh, my good, dear friend. Trust me.
Will the defendant, Carl Edward Mueller,
You know, it's amazing that this guy is still doing his job after
you were
the
charged
experience he had.
Right?
calculated and unprovoked murder of 2 of this station's residents, as well as the brutal and senseless slaying of a security officer.
This poor actor.
This court has reviewed the charges against you and the
It's
evidence
the one
supplied
role
by
he's
the Office of
always
Stations
cast in,
and Security.
ever.
In light of that evidence, this court finds you guilty of murder in the 1st degree.
Oh, nice.
The sentence will be handed down at 10 a.m. tomorrow, Earth Standard Time. And may God have mercy upon your soul.
He's so great at that role, though,
Dawn
too.
of the third age
Yeah, sure
of
he is.
mankind.
Is this
I'd like
the
to see the
underground
doctor.
clinic?
Yeah,
The line forms at the rear. I'm sure it does.
that's what she said.
Oh, I'm sorry. Please go right in. I'll buzz the doctor.
You know, this is such a well-established clinic. He actually has a
All right,
receptionist.
there you go. Take 2 every 12 hours for the pain. If it comes back, you come back and see me, all right?
Doing my job.
Your job as chief of staff for the med lab facility.
No, my job is healing people. Med labs aren't free. Not everyone can afford to come for treatment, especially in down below.
Well, they have my sympathies. But this is an unauthorized clinic.
This is
So
free.
authorize it.
Same thing. The taxpayers back home expect us to be self-supporting. They wouldn't approve of diverting medicines, supplies, resources.
I know. That's why I didn't tell you.
I don't like having to hear about this in the grapevine, Doctor.
Fine. But right now there are about a dozen people out there waiting to see me. Now, what do you?
What's hard is knowing the Franklin that we know.
And there's only
I
half-
love that he's doing this.
Yeah.
This is
Absolutely.
incredible. But the first time around, it's just like the testiculares on this guy. Like, testiculares.
There you go. I love what Ivanova's saying here. Like, everything she's saying makes total sense. She's not mad. She's not pissed off, but she's also like, look, you can't divert these things to something free because we've got to be able to support ourselves. Like, she makes a very valid point all the way around.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean he can't hold a free clinic, though.
He just can't use the supplies from above.
Unless we pay for them. Unless you figure that part out.
Oh, like how, like, so it's one of those things where it's like, hey, this is great. You're willing to use your skill and your talent. Are you willing to put your money where your mouth is?
Or get some other funding. Hey, you know, I hear there's this really rich guy out on Mars. Edgars. William Edgars. That guy, he might give you some money to fund a clinic down here. That'd be fine.
Right? He could brand it and everything. Like,
Yeah. But I think what we also realize is on Babylon 5, you know, it doesn't exist. Socialized medicine.
yeah, not even a little bit.
There's no Medicaid. There's no Medicare, you know.
You're on your own.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, Med Lab's not free.
And I say we space the creep.
Am I losing my
Couple
cachet
hours of
around
hard
here?
vacuum will do him and the gene pool a world of good.
If you don't mind my saying so, Mr. Garibaldi, you seem to be taking this very personally.
The way he killed him, cool, methodical. He's done this before. I'd bet good money he's done this a lot.
But you have no evidence to that effect. Spacing is only invoked under conditions of mutiny or treason. For the crime of murder, there are only 3 penalties.
Take the drugs, join Psych or go to prison.
The first option is to send him to a prison, back to Earth.
I checked. They don't want him, and they won't pay the money to send him anywhere else.
And there isn't room in the brig for the perps we've got now, let alone putting somebody away for life.
Which leaves us only option 3. And that brings us back to you, Miss Winters.
I don't want to do this again. I was inside a killer's mind before.
on the Mars colony. There's got to be another way.
If you could get another registered telepath in here,
That would
to
be an
carry the
interesting
burden.
story.
I've tried. The Corps
The
promised to
time
send
she did
someone
it the
as soon
first
as they
time?
can.
Yeah, just like a little side story of what happened.
Yeah, we got a glimpse, right, when the vicar and Kosh were doing their thing with her, but to dive in and see, because we actually get the story of Mueller in this one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's a shortage of telepaths trained in criminal cases.
Why? Seems like there'd be a lot of demand for that.
Oh, there's demand. Just not much motivation.
Just leave your contribution in the box by the door on your way out. Thank you.
In some cases, you can actually wind up getting more money
Doctor.
that way than you could.
Wondered how long
Bon,
it would take you to
Bon
pay
Jovi
me
has a
visit.
restaurant in New Jersey
One
like that. He
healer
makes
to
more
another.
money. Plus, he gets to feed
Took
people
me a
that don't
while
have
to notice
homes
the
and
drop
stuff.
in patience.
It's win-win.
This is
Alien. Yes.
writing.
Hey, Jeff, is this organic tech?
The specifics?
Would this qualify as organic tech?
I don't think so. It's not alive itself.
Yeah. I mean, it interfaces with a person pretty intimately, but yeah, you're right.
It restores, renews, invigorates.
Who is this lady again,
It's
Jeff?
good
She's
for
somebody.
ailments of the
Yeah,
flesh,
she's on Lost
the
in
blood,
Space with
and
Bill
the
Mummy.
bone.
My mother is not a fake, or an evil woman, or a quack.
You didn't tell me that.
The age
didn't
difference
ask.
between there.
Doctor, my mother
She
isn't hurting anyone.
Yes, she is. If
Or
she's discouraging
grandmother,
people
mother.
from seeking proper treatment.
Don't like the competition, Doctor?
I have a problem with frauds, if that's what you mean. And this.
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
The personality of Carl Edward Mueller will be totally and completely erased. You will then be programmed with a new set of memories. For the rest of your natural life will serve the community harmed by your actions.
Stand by. We'll be right back. Are you ready to take your Babylon 5 for the first time experience to the next level? With our exclusive Patreon, you'll get access to all kinds of cool stuff that you can only find there. Our recording notes, unedited reaction videos, an exclusive Discord community. And you can even be listed as a producer of the show. Plus, we even offer exclusive meet and greets and hangouts. You won't find this kind of experience anywhere else. Get all these amazing benefits, plus the opportunity to interact with other fans from around the world. It's being part of a huge community where everyone shares the same appreciation for Babylon 5. Subscribe at patreon.com/Babylon5First. That's the number 5 and the word first to get access to these incredible benefits. That's patreon.com/Babylon5First. We can't wait to see you there.
So two thoughts. I feel like this actually might have been an original thought from a thought that we had in the original deal. I'm a big fan of somebody having to serve the community that they've harmed.
Yeah, restorative justice.
I do not. I believe that jail should be reserved only for those who are imminent dangers to society.
Yeah, to themselves or others.
Mm-hmm. And outside of that, putting somebody in jail does no good
At all.
It really doesn't.
All jail and prison do is train criminals.
It creates more harm than good, right? Now that being said, the other side of that though is maybe helping the community that they harmed. While I love the justice of that, it also is maybe not the best idea, because I mean that'd be like somebody who murdered a person's family member now coming and like cleaning that person's house.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you maybe don't need to be the one in this particular group, but you go be with that group over there helping them.
So
and serving
yeah,
that community, and then maybe their person comes over and helps yours. Like there may be something there that while I love the idea, I think the reality of this person being in town of the community he's harmed might not be the best idea. Also, he's going to get shanked like Brother Edward did.
Right, exactly. But the reality is in the construct of restorative justice, both parties they have to agree. So if like someone murdered a member of my family and they're like, hey, we want to bring you all together. This person wants to apologize, wants to do all this stuff. I get to say yes or no. I can say, no, I don't want any part of that. Now, that doesn't stop restorative justice from happening. Like you said, they can go into another community and do good, right? Because restorative justice is about bridging the gap that was created by the harm you did. And it doesn't have to be a direct, I took this person out of the world. I'm not going to replace that person. but how do I fill in the hole of that person no longer being alive and part of our society? So I think it's a yes and, right? Like if you want them in your house cleaning and stuff and you're actively engaged in the restorative justice, not vengeance, but justice part of it, cool, awesome. If you're not, also cool, awesome. We'll do it over here. But regardless of the thing you said, up top is the thing. Jail, punitive, quote, justice doesn't work. It never has. It never will. Dark Star.
That's a cool name. I don't remember that name.
Got a place here in Portland called the Dark Star Tattoo Parlor.
This way?
I like that sign back there.
I'm really not sure that this is a good idea.
Oh, nonsense.
Dude, he might as well be leaning back and unzipping his
Seems I've
pants
left my
right here.
credit shit in my quarters.
Clumsy me.
Don't suppose you brought yours,
Well, yes, I did, but
The master
my
at work.
allowance is very small.
Oh, no, don't apologize. We'll make do.
No, it's just that I don't think the landlord would.
Thank you.
Lanier just changed his
Give
mind.
yourself a nice tip. He's a very generous man.
Thanks. Because my people do not react well at all to alcohol.
Ah.
Even a small quantity causes psychotic impulses, violent homicidal rages.
Alcohol.
Is he lying?
Lanier?
Yeah.
You would think, right? It makes sense almost here, but it comes up again. Like it gets mentioned in other places.
I really want him just to be screwed with Londo right here.
Yeah. Lanier doesn't have the capacity at this
I was
point.
saying, also, Lanier is so innocent at this point, he really might not be. Like,
But what I love is we literally saw the moment the innocence began to die in him. Those pants dropped and he was a changed man.
well, the moment was when he was working on that motorcycle and went, sexual prowess. That's where it all started for him, man.
All the pieces are falling into place.
Isn't that where it starts for every 12-year-old? Just saying.
For the first time, I see hope in her eyes.
Janice, her machine doesn't work.
How do you know? Have you tested it? Examined it?
No, but if it was real, why are you still here? Why aren't you back on Earth so she can show everyone her new discovery?
We don't have the money.
Yes, you do. I checked the station log. Your account has enough credits for 2 tickets back to Earth. But she doesn't know that, does she? You don't want her to know. You don't want anyone to know.
Doctor, my mother is not a young or a well woman. At most, she has a few years left. I never want to see her as she was before, defeated and lost and hopeless. She's a healer again, and that's all that matters.
A lot of conversation in the chat going on I want to bring up, and talking about how like all of the doctors use stims, right? We got it from Dr. Kyle in the pilot episode. We get it later on with Dr. Franklin. We get it from her. We get it from President Clark's doctor, and Hunter Prey, I think, is when we find out about that, or at some point. But we were talking earlier about there's no socialized medicine at all. It's still very much for profit. Now, they don't have the whole bureaucracy of like getting the right diagnosis codes and insurance doing prior authorizations and whatever. So it's step up on what we have. But clearly they still have a toxic and horrible culture for doctors where they're working 12 to 24 to 48 or 72 hours at a time.
That doesn't seem any different than today.
Exactly.
Just saying.
Things have not, medically, gotten that much better.
And they, and I guarantee you a big piece of that is they keep pumping in how many patients a day are you seeing?
Right.
You're running through. Are your notes got to be crappy in order to see so much. You're not actually doing your work. You're missing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you're exhausted and worn out. And they do that to them in training on purpose.
Yeah. Like psych screening almost. Like, are you going to hack it living like this?
Yeah. It's not as fun as people like to make it seem.
Right.
It's really not.
We have a medical culture that's about the quantity of widgets, not the health of people.
Take away my thoughts, my memories, everything that makes me me.
I like this. Suzanne points out it's like the policeman's badge when they have lost a fellow officer. They put the band over it.
Put me to work for the rest of my life, mopping floors, cleaning toilets.
Mr. Mueller, if you continue this, I will have to ask the guards to restrain you. Is that what you want?
Talking? If he continues talking?
Pretty much.
If you'll please.
He's apparently lost his right to an opinion and to voice that opinion.
Well, I mean, she's supposed to be a P5. Is that right?
I think so.
But she's like on steroids with the gift that dude gave her.
Yeah, she just doesn't realize it yet.
Yeah. Well, yeah, she does. flung a penny into the wall, man.
Look into my eyes. She's just like, God, again.
Oh God, no. How many?
I don't understand her reaction.
How many worlds are there?
I really don't.
Well, I imagine
How many banks?
that she's getting both like the information and the feeling, and not like, you know, because I mean, that's just, I mean, yeah. I mean, have you ever been to like a Holocaust memorial or a war memorial of some kind, and it just lists the names, right? But there's still that like, oh my God, like that was a person and they're dead.
Right, but you take that as solemn and somber. She's taking it as like freaking out, like, oh my God, no, not like that. No, not like that. Oh. Like, name the movie. What I just referenced. Come on, Jeff.
Man, I'm batting zero for this.
It's The Matrix.
Oh yeah.
No, not like that.
How many flowers waiting to be harvested? How
Yeah, I
many
agree with
new
Suzanne. Talia's
voices
a
waiting
light
to be
man.
recruited into my choir. I have to keep adding voices until the choir is big enough to sing me into heaven when I die. It's necessary.
It's almost like that Vincent D'Onofrio movie, The Cell, where like you get in the mind and it's just overwhelming.
Just beginning, Ms. Winters.
Because she's like part of him in that moment. Oh, look at that face.
No. Stay for the symphony. We'll save a place for you.
The daughter thinks that she's doing the right thing, but if we show her that people's conditions are actually getting worse because of the lack of proper treatment, this can't be right. You sure these are the same patients who've been going to see Rosa?
Absolutely. Why?
Because my theory says they'd be getting worse.
Uh-huh.
She loves me very much, it seems. God knows why.
Because she's your daughter.
Take a look at it. I know some people that might be able to help. And then...
Oh, no. Doctor, this has been my whole life for the last 2 years. No, if there's a discovery here to be made, I will make it on my own terms. Doctor, this is my last chance to do good. Please, let me finish what I've started.
I love his curiosity. I love his compassion right
If
here.
anything should happen
This is
to me
great.
before I finish, the machine can go to you and you can carry on. On one condition, Janice is to know nothing of this. Agreed?
All right. If you come to med lab once a week for exams, I want to be able to monitor your condition. And I reserve the right to intervene if you start to push yourself too far too fast.
He's like, you can come to med lab. I've seen how much money you
Starting
have
on
because I
Monday.
have access to your accounts for some reason.
Right. I remember we had that discussion the first time around too. Like,
until then, doctor.
Oh, look at that. Like just being called doctor again. That was a great scene. That was incredible.
No, just checking in. She's a good woman, Janice. You should be proud.
and he honors her request not to tell Janice
I always
anything.
have been. It's nice to hear somebody else say it, though.
I'm willingly eating my words from our
If
first time.
you ever want to take a break, I'd love to buy you dinner.
Until now.
Going down, Chief?
Nah, heading up, Lou.
Take your hands off Lou.
Grab only to maintenance. Head back to security. Work your way down to the next level. What the hell?
You? You cheating? No, I'm sure there's been a terrible mistake. Cheating? No.
Yeah, first time we see bad A Lanier.
This is the Lanier we love.
I think we should leave now.
A very good idea. I'll just take my winnings.
I think not. We'll go now. It's not good.
JMS mentioned, I'm going to take it back a little bit, in the notes that he wanted the sound of a whip crack when it came around. And they said they got the loudest whip crack they could, and they turned it up as loud as they could in the mix, and he rolls on the floor every time he hears it.
You? You cheating? No, I'm sure there's been a terrible mistake.
Rose, if a man shows up down there with a PBG wound, you notify me immediately.
Understood. At this point, he'd be the only patient we've had all day. Word's getting out about that quack and her healing machine.
Look, she's not a...
Even standing up for her there.
Around 27G. If he doesn't hear from me in 20 minutes, tell him to send in a team.
Will do.
Laura, Miss Rosen, it's Dr. Franklin. Laura.
Her treatment is quite astonishing, Doctor. But once the procedure's finished, it never hurts to have a second opinion or a second hostage.
You promised you'd let her go if I helped you.
It seems such a waste, though, does it not?
Then I refuse to continue.
You all finished the job, but she dies now. Stay.
It's like he won't miss, and neither will I.
What?
Right?
What are you doing? Stop it!
You'll do nothing with that pain you're feeling. That agony, that's Lake's syndrome. Your veins are burning with
She's
pain.
got a mean streak.
You threaten
Yeah,
me.
she does.
You murderer. You threaten my daughter.
Yeah.
You'll never hurt anyone again. Do you hear me?
He's dead.
Of old age.
This court has reviewed all of the evidence provided by the Office of Station Security.
Ben,
It is the
she
judgment of
does
this court
pain
that Laura Rose
so much better.
acted in self-defense.
I've taken a life in direct violation of my oath as a doctor. I'm free of pain.
I had a big conversation about this whole idea right here first time around, so I'm not going to rehash it.
Yeah.
All I'm simply going to say is I stand by everything I said in the first one. I hate when writers do stuff like this for doctors.
The whole like misquote and misuse of the Hippocratic Oath.
Yep. There is nothing she did that any other physician wouldn't have done and wouldn't have felt a bit of guilt about.
I'm free from Lake syndrome.
I mean, outside of the
Mr.
oath
Neville,
thing, I like how they played that
I bring you
out.
glad tidings.
Oh, good. I
Sure.
could use some.
When we were at the gaming table, somehow a part of you reached out for the cards.
Yes, yes.
What
dirty.
was that?
Yes, it's true. Yes. Here, Lee, goddess of passion, a synthesis of male and female centauri. Did you think these were just decorations?
I'm going to take a vow of silence concerning this entire conversation. Good day.
It's the beginning of a give and take
They are a strange
relationship with
Mhm.
Londo and Lanier.
But they're okay.
Somewhere out there is what I need to redeem myself.
You don't need to.
Yes, I do.
Right.
And I'm going to find it. The cruiser leaves in half an hour. I would ask you to look after my daughter.
But you're kind of
look
a
after
creep.
her, right?
Tell me that won't be a problem. Goodbye, doctor.
Goodbye.
Make sure you get consent
And
first.
for what it's worth, I hope you find what you're looking for.
Step Franklin
Thank you.
doesn't seem to care about too much. Go with your mom.
Is that dinner invitation still?
Go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still open. 7, Zocalo.
It's a better time than 8. That's a beautiful shot to end the episode.
Yeah. All right, Brent, that's the Quality of Mercy for the second time. What do you got?
Pretty much feel about this the same way I did the first time around. It's an okay episode. It's not great. It's fine. It's not bad. I kind of wish I had some laundry to do while I was doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of do. Yeah, it you know, there are parts about it I like. There are other parts that were just there, you know? I will say this. Franklin is in this episode who Franklin is.
Mm-hmm.
Stop the presses, quote me.
Okay.
Franklin is who Franklin is. But he did not seem like a creep in this one.
He really didn't.
He didn't seem like a jerk. He didn't seem like an asshole. He was just doing his thing, man. You know? So.
And I thought he was doing his thing well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I loved the way Ivanova came in and kind of cracked down on him, but was not like dropping the hammer on the man.
Not at all.
You know, I with like you, I love the Londo and Lanier stuff. It's gold. Unfortunately, we don't get much more Londo and Lanier. It would have been really neat to see when Lanier was going through his whole Delenn thing, if he would have been able to reach out to Londo.
Yeah.
What would have happened? How would that have changed? You know? Okay, let's play the game, Jeff.
Okay.
Lanier's got it bad for Delenn. She's married to dude, and Lanier can't seem to get over it, and he's about to go off to be a ranger and follow the calling of his heart that we all know is a bunch of bull. Enter Londo. What happens? Go.
Londo pulls him aside and he tells the story of the horseman that he's married and the one who got away, right? And that despite all of that, it's okay. Now I'm going to take you out. We're going to get some water and I'm going to get some drinks. And he's going to show him a good time. But he's basically going to mentor him. Oh, yes. Lady Ladira, right? The love of my life, who was murdered and started a whole war. This dancer chick that I was married to and then had to leave immediately because of my family. Our lives are full of loves that come and go. And in the end, almost this isn't where Londo would go, but this is Jeff as Londo, to bring it back to what Dr. Rosen was saying at the end, loves will come and loves will go, but really the only love that matters is the one you have for yourself, because everything you need is right here. It was here all along inside yourself. You didn't have to go looking for it.
No. You know what that is? Londo goes and gets Lanier, and his buddy Jakar tags along.
Oh, man.
And that's Jakar chiming in, because you know what Londo is trying to do? Londo is trying to get the boy laid.
Yeah.
He's like, come with me, my good dear friend. I know what will fix this for you.
Londo and Jakar roll up with Lanier, and Lita's over there, and he's like, Lita, why don't you get into the car with us? And Lita's like, yeah, it's not going to happen. And Jakar's like, be really cool if you did.
all right. But yeah, I mean, you know, I can see why JMS might not be 100% thrilled with this episode, but it's not bad. It's just not great. You know what I mean? Like, it's just there. How about you, Jeff? What you got?
I think the Londo Lanier stuff was great.
Yeah.
And I think it was great on its own. Clearly loved it the first time around, but I think knowing what they have and knowing where Londo ends up, and I know this wasn't intentional, but having Verini there at the beginning is like this moment of this is the future that's coming. And so if you're watching this on a second, third, or 47th time, plants that seed, and then you see Londo laughing, joking with the servers, and just whipping it out and doing, and you're just like, God, this is Londo, you know, this is him at his best, and knowing where he goes, like it's very powerful. I think I said it during the episode. It breaks my heart to see this happen. But the other stuff, the Mueller stuff, I still think was really interesting. Right. It did exactly what JMS wanted it to do. It sparks discussion, questions. What is the right thing? There was a real through line in the episode of capital punishment, whether it was the Quality of Mercy machine or the mind wipes or whatever it was. And I think that's a conversation and debate that we will have for centuries to come. But I don't know if I liked it better or worse than I did the first time around. But what I know is coming out of this, I'm like, I really like this episode. And I like it in terms of this. This isn't necessarily a great Babylon 5 episode. This is just a great, fun sci-fi episode.
You're right. This episode, pick this out of Babylon 5, drop it in any sci-fi series. This could be Stargate. This could be Star Trek.
Yep.
This could be Battlestar Galactica, quite frankly, with you. This would fit really well in Battlestar Galactica now that I think about it, I'm going to name those three, but yeah, this could work. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. It's a good one.
Okay, so real quick though, JMS said that his intent was to have and spark this debate about capital punishment versus mind wipes and all that sort of stuff. Looking at this thing as a whole, I think I'm kind of the opinion that the option they chose, the mind wipe, is probably the best of all the options.
Yeah.
And I'm sure if I was living on a planet and this is the way we did things, Captain Picard, and it's going to be Picard, it's not going to be anybody else. Picard's going to show up and he's going to be like, well, it's the exact same thing as killing them and da-da-da-da-da, right? But just straight up killing them doesn't do any good.
Right. Nobody benefits from that.
It might make somebody feel better, but it's not going to do you any good. All right. Throwing him in jail. This might be a guy that should be in jail. Right. But it's not about punishment. It's about removing him from society where he is clearly a danger. Right.
Yep.
Also, what did we find out though? You go into his mind. It then says, I have to keep adding to the chorus until they can sing me into heaven. This dude has a belief about something. This dude has something going on in his head that says that this is the way. This is the thing to do. This isn't just pure evil. There's something in him where this is justified. And this is not just justified, but actually mandated on a holy level. There's something about needing to, quite frankly, correct that. Or to unwrite that, or whatever that is in his brain. And I'd be really interested to explore that.
Well, I want to lay what Rosen and Garibaldi said at the end for him. It wasn't the right thing. It was the necessary thing. Maybe he doesn't want this. Like maybe he doesn't think it's the right thing, but it's necessary. And he believes that to such a point. That's where the vitriol, right? And the passion, you're all dead. You'll all be dead. Not because he thinks it's the right thing to do and he wants to do it, but because it's the only way he can get to heaven. It's a necessary step for him. Like he's trapped. He's in a bad spot where he's believing that.
Exactly. So now you're in a mental health situation, you know, so can we help him on a mental health level? Maybe not. I mean, yeah, I don't know. So of all the options available, or we keep you alive, you get a new personality, you get to serve out and be here. And frankly, he gets offered a second chance. Right. So I think I'm of the mindset that's the better choice to go with. It seems to me the most humane choice. And again, this would make a perfect Star Trek episode because they would posit that question and turn it over.
Yeah, they'd interrogate it heavily. And I think, you know, as I think about where it would go, I think it's where I land with it. I think that the mind wipe is the way to go, but I think there's a step missing. Earlier in the episode, in the Council Chambers chat, I think it was Nia brought up, like, where's the rush? Like, if Talia really doesn't want to do this, they can put him in a cell, lock him down, and wait for Psychor to find somebody else. Like, why does this have to happen tonight? You know? And so, like, that opens it up to me where maybe what you do is approach it from a mental health place first. But what we know about mental health is that's not, okay, Nia says it wasn't her that said it. Somebody said it. But,
no, Nia said it was her who said it.
Oh, there was Nia. Look at that. Reading English apparently is a challenge for me at this time. But put him in a place and approach it from a mental health place. What we know is the person has to want to become healthy for a mental health treatment to work. So it's one of the things, we're going to try it. We're going to give you, you know, all of the tools necessary to heal from this thing. And if you're not game for that, then we do the mind wipe. And yeah, and I do think, you know, JMS asked the question, there's no brain activity or you tweak the brain activity. I think there's still death that's occurring, and that's not great, but it's better than complete and total death.
Even if it's irreversible.
Yeah.
Even if it's irreversible.
There's a part of me that wishes that like the original you is still there somewhere so it can experience the whole thing. But that opens up so much.
We've seen that episode way too many times, right? That's make Chief O'Brien suffer. Like, that's that type of it. We've seen that, and that doesn't go well. And here's what's going to happen: that personality is going to push back to the front and take over again, and then things are going to be even worse than they were before.
Because now it's not just necessary; now it's the right thing.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think that's there. I will say this though. I did love this. I loved this thing about Lanier, and I sort of fixated on it. And this is, I want to admit, so we've just watched this episode, Jeff. This is still a half-baked idea.
Okay.
Like I need to sit with this one a little bit more and kind of really think it through, but there's something here. Lanier says that he was raised in the temple and then he came here and that there's nothing else. There's always something else. There's always more to you than where you were raised and now you're here.
Yeah.
There's so much more to Lanier as a person. And the one good thing through this whole deal is Londo is helping him explore that. There was something that was awakened in Lanier back when he was working on that motorcycle and he saw sexual prowess.
Right. Absolutely.
You know, and this is Lanier beginning to explore beyond that and become more of, I guess, really himself and not just this cloistered person whom he's been this whole time, you know? So I really quite love that. And Londo's, for better or worse, he's going to pull it out of him. And I think there's a big message here of watch who you let influence you.
Yeah.
You know, Londo's nice. Londo's his friend. Londo's the only one showing him attention right now. Londo in this situation is going to lead him down the wrong path.
Well, he robbed him, right? Oh, I seem to have forgotten my credit shit.
He used him, all of those sorts of things. Almost got him drunk. Like,
got him beat up a little bit. Got him into a fight. Got him arrested.
Into a fight. Yeah. But I think it's clear to say by the end of this episode, Lanier was probably more alive than he's ever been.
Right.
Jeff, did you catch any new messages out of this?
Nothing more than we've already talked about.
All right. Well, there you go.
There it is.
So, Jeff, we are, with that then, doing the thing that we do best. We're doing our favorite thing that we do here at Babylon 5 for the second time. That is to watch the episode, but then to place it in our 100% completely accurate, definitive ranking of season 1, Babylon 5 on the second watch, because it's different. It's different this time around. Our current top 5, Jeff, this isn't going to be in the top 5. I don't think so. You're going to get to place it, Jeff. You get to do it, and I don't have anything to say about it. I'm going to make a guess here. I'm going to go with our middle 5. All right, we got 19 episodes on the board. I'm going to go right around our middle. Number 7 right now is Believers, followed number 8 by TKO. Number 9 is By Any Means Necessary. 10, Parliament of Dreams. 11, Born to the Purple. And 12, Midnight on the Firing Line. 13, Legacies. That was more than 5, but whatever. Jeff, am I in the right zone? Or do you got a whole other place to place this episode of Quality of Mercy?
When we did our season 1 complete, objective, definitive ranking of the first time, The Quality of Mercy was the 9th episode on the season. It was ranked number 9.
Yeah.
It is not going to be number 9.
Okay.
In this one, we've changed it up quite a bit. In fact, it was just under Signs and Portents, which we had at number 8.
And now we have it at number 2.
Yeah. So we've seen a couple things differently. And so when I looked at this, I had it like right in that zone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, this is exactly where, at the top of that zone, actually. And I was wrestling with TKO, even as to like, oh, is it going to be above or below TKO? And the answer to that question, Brent, is it is going to be below TKO and further below than I thought it was going to be.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be the new number 11.
Yeah.
Just over Born to the Purple and under Parliament of Dreams. And a big reason for that is I think that the Born to the Purple, what we love about Born to the Purple is the Londo stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that what that did in the Born to the Purple was enabled the Londo stuff that we saw here. It gave it so much more, right? Like it was the thing for it. And this was just excellent. So yeah, Quality of Mercy in at number 11.
Yeah, I think this group right here, Quality of Mercy, Born to the Purple, Midnight on the Firing Line, Legacies, and Eyes. Maybe not Eyes. Maybe Legacies. I'm going to stop at Legacies. Yeah. That's kind of that's a group where I think you kind of throw them in a bag and shake them up and pull one out, and that you'll be fine. I think that's a solid group right there. And then, you go Parliament of Dreams up to maybe Believers. That's another group. Yeah, then we have our top 6, which is that I don't think you can throw those into a bag and shake them up, but that's still a good group. So yeah, I'm with you, Jeff. I'm with you. Wouldn't matter if I wasn't.
It's the way it works.
But I am, if it makes you feel better. Well, folks, that's going to do it for us right here on Quality of Mercy. Next week, Jeff.
Next week.
Season finale. I'm so ready to get to this. And I got to tell you what, knowing what we know in many ways, Jeff, the show doesn't get started till Sheridan shows up.
For real. Yeah.
This is all prequel. Like it doesn't feel like we've really started the show yet. This is all laying there, which is I guess what's supposed to happen in the introduction where you're building your world and all that sort of stuff. But it really is feel like, so I'm ready to get in because we're going to take another step function. Now I know that first half of season 2, at least my memory is, it wasn't really great.
A little rough.
But I'm ready to make we finally get the Delenn that we know. Like you know what I mean? Like we can start moving down those paths. So I'm ready to get on and glad to see the season finale is upon us. Jeff, I have a question for you though.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you predicted Chrysalis was going to be our first time around?
I do. And when I think about it, I think that I was just like basically 3 seasons early. With my prediction, because I felt that the Chrysalis thing was going to be bigger than Sinclair. It was going to be bigger than Delenn. This was going to be like a social upheaval of the Minbari, something genetic that's a really big deal about the Minbari, but not all Minbari. Maybe like people being children of Valen or something like that we realize, later on in season 4 of this whole thing. What did you predict?
I'm gonna read it exactly as I had it written down.
Okay.
It's about Sinclair, and there's a transformation. Maybe even going into a cocoon and transforming. I also wanted the full, unfiltered, unedited truth and answer to the Battle of the Line and why the Minbari chose Sinclair to run Babylon 5. I don't remember if we get that in this particular episode.
Season 2, episode 1, in a monologue from Lanier.
There it is. But going into a cocoon and transforming, yeah.
Kind of nailed that. And
also the word Chrysalis, how could it not be something like that?
Well, and also Sinclair does do that 2 seasons from now.
It does.
We were just that far ahead.
He just does it backwards.
Exactly.
He just does it the other way around. I like it. I like it.
Cool. Well, we are going to find out. I'm excited. Closing out season 1. We're going to do that right here next week. Thank you, everyone, for joining us so much. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you are listening or watching. Leave us a rating and a review if you're able to do that. Comment if you can do that. Likes, all the stuff. Do all of the things. But if you will follow the calling of your heart, to which there is no higher calling, share this show. Share the show with somebody who needs to watch Babylon 5 for both the first, second, and maybe even the 47th time. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. We're going to get out of here. Yeah, Brent, what's up?
Is it just me or is it cold in here?
No, it feels pretty temperate, pretty okay.
It doesn't explain the shrinkage. Here, take a look at this.
Oh, no, dude, just stroke off.
I mean, we're not some deep space franchise. This station is about something.
You're a dirty man, Jeffrey.
Yeah, because there's like a couple layers to
You're
stroke off.
Dirty man, Jeff Akin. I just want this to be on record. He wrote that.